Lila Hart appeared at the gate of Caleb Mercer's ranch, bruised, terrified, and desperate for help. She revealed that her stepfather, Ezekiel Pike, and her brother, Wade, had imprisoned and abused her, even forcing her into a marriage with an older man to repay a debt. Caleb understood that helping her meant standing against one of the most powerful families in Dodge City, risking not only his reputation but also his safety. Yet when he looked into Lila's frightened eyes, he realized he could no longer turn away. Despite knowing the danger that lay ahead, Caleb chose to protect her and stand by her side. Not long after Caleb gave Lila shelter at the ranch, Ezekiel, Pike, and Wade rode in, demanding that she be returned. Ezekiel tried to appear calm and lawful, speaking as though Lila were property under his control. Wade, however, constantly provoked Caleb and threatened violence to force him into backing down. Caleb never reached for his gun or lost his composure, but he stood firmly in front of the barn to shield Lila. When Wade suddenly attacked, Caleb used the calm experience of a seasoned man to throw him hard to the ground within seconds. The confrontation left Ezekiel furious, and before leaving, he warned Caleb that the matter was far from over. Knowing Ezekiel would soon spread lies to paint himself as the victim, Caleb decided to take Lila to Dodge City to find Aunt Mayhart, the only relative who still believed in her. Inside the crowded general store, the truth slowly came to light when Aunt May revealed a secret agreement proving that Ezekiel intended to marry Lila off to Silas Crowley to settle his debts. In front of the town sheriff and dozens of townspeople, Lila finally found the courage to declare that she had never agreed to the marriage. Tension filled the store as Wade lost his temper and charged forward in a violent rage, while Ezekiel began to lose control of the situation. If you believe Caleb did the right thing by protecting Lila, comment 1 below. After the truth was exposed, Ezekiel and Wade immediately fled Dodge City to avoid arrest. Sheriff Harlan quickly rode after them, while Caleb mounted his horse and chased them along the dusty trails beside the Cimarron River. At the riverbank, Wade angrily challenged Caleb to a fistfight, desperate to vent his rage and regain control of the situation. Though Wade was younger and far more aggressive, Caleb remained calm, steadily overpowering him with the experience and composure of a seasoned man. When Wade suddenly pulled a knife and lunged forward, Caleb reacted instantly, kicking the blade deep into the mud right in front of Sheriff Harlan. But the real danger was far from over, because Ezekiel was racing toward an old hunting cabin to retrieve his rifle, preparing for a far bloodier confrontation. Inside the hunting cabin near the river, Ezekiel grabbed the rifle and aimed it directly at Caleb. The air turned heavy with tension as Caleb had every chance to draw his Colt and end the conflict with a single shot. But instead of firing, he slowly stepped down from his horse and lowered his hand away from the revolver at his side. Caleb understood that if he killed Ezekiel in that moment, Lila would forever carry the memory that her freedom had been bought with blood. That calm restraint shook Ezekiel and stripped away the last of his control. When Sheriff Harlan finally arrived, Ezekiel had no choice but to lower his weapon and surrender. Soon after, both he and Wade were taken back to Dodge City in silence, while Lila was finally freed from the months of fear, control, and abuse she had endured. After Ezekiel and Wade were arrested, peace slowly returned to Dodge City, though the story continued to echo throughout the town. Silas Crowley quickly distanced himself from the scandal to protect his own reputation, while Sheriff Harlan began looking at Caleb with a level of respect he had never shown before. Meanwhile, Lila stayed with Aunt May at the general store, and for the first time in years, she finally experienced what true safety felt like. The bruises on her face gradually faded, but the greatest change was in her eyes, which no longer carried the same constant fear. Caleb returned to his daily work at the ranch, quietly stopping by the store now and then just to make sure Lila was doing well. As time passed, the bond between Caleb and Lila slowly grew closer. Though never in a rushed or forced way, Caleb never treated her as a burden or a debt he needed to carry. Instead, he showed her respect and gave her the space she needed to heal from the pain of her past. Small moments like Caleb visiting the store to buy things he clearly did not need, or silently helping Aunt May repair broken shelves and fences, allowed Lila to see the sincerity in him. To her, Caleb was not the kind of hero who sought attention or praise. He was simply the first man willing to stand beside her when the rest of the town chose silence. From that quiet sense of safety, a slow but enduring love began to grow between them. The story ends with a powerful message about courage and responsibility. Caleb Mercer did not become a hero because he could fight harder or shoot faster than anyone else. What made him different was his willingness to step forward when everyone else chose to stand aside. He understood that remaining silent in the face of wrongdoing was its own form of complicity. The moment Caleb lowered his hand from his gun by the river proved that true strength does not come from violence, but from the ability to control oneself. Lila, too, rediscovered her own strength when she found the courage to run away and speak the truth. In the end, the story reminds us that real honor is built through the choices people make in their darkest and most difficult moments.